Hi, this is Hans. Hope all is well. Let's see, I just want to go over a subject that I've been kind of struggling with for a long time, and I've never been able to really put my finger on it until now. Maybe it's a rediscovery, but maybe I just wasn't paying attention or it wasn't relevant in my life at that time. But it's basically the difference between a skeptic and a cynic. For some reason, I thought they were one and the same. I really didn't think that they were polar opposites. The big difference between a skeptic and a cynic is open-mindedness. A true skeptic has an open mind, whereas a cynic has a very closed mind. For the most part, skeptics and cynics have similar personality traits. Although skeptics will utilize logic and critical thinking, cynics don't. With cynics, once they've passed judgment and believe a certain issue, they won't change their minds. And this is where I think we go wrong. We try to convert a cynic into a skeptic. I think we assume everyone is like us. I mean, even the cynics were open-minded enough to look into ufology, just like we did. Now, I think it might have taken some of us longer for us to be convinced of what we see in the sky, but eventually we surrendered our skepticism due to overwhelming evidence. Okay, so here are a few traits of the skeptic. A skeptic typically keeps an open mind, which means that they are open to new ideas that may conflict with their current beliefs. With a skeptic, if there's enough evidence, they'll change their mind. This is what a cynic does not do. I think that once a cynic ends up hearing something that contradicts their current beliefs, it's called cognitive dissonance, they contort the truth in their head and make it disingenuine. Cynics are constantly looking for confirmation to their biases. Typically, there's some sort of behind-the-scenes agenda. The agenda could be peer pressure, lifetime indoctrination, religion, or they might be working in the business. Cynicism dismisses new ideas that may challenge the paradigm within. Cynics have made up their mind and they're unwilling to change. It's almost like their shield. Whereas skepticism is listening to both sides of the story. Skepticism is when people allow a challenge of their old belief. This is a willingness to change a belief, but not necessarily changing a belief. It's a willingness to investigate and possibly change their point of view. Skepticism is an open-minded state. It's the willingness to allow exploration of a subject rather than dismantling it. Skepticism allows the willingness to understand and look at evidence in a certain subject, which may allow a new belief to come in and possibly be adopted. A cynic appears to, quote, investigate the true scientific evidence, but has already considered it false evidence and dismisses it. Once they hear something that doesn't conform to their reality, they accept it as false evidence. A classic representation of a cynic is ignorance coupled with arrogance. People's egos have been solidified since childhood. Converting a cynic to a skeptic is like peeling ego from a narcissist. Not that it's impossible, but it's nearly impossible. If you ever try to convert a cynic to a skeptic and say, I'm going to convert this guy if it kills me, you're probably going to die. They're a cynic and have this perfectly legal disease called cynicism. I think the best thing that we could do is try to open their eyes and try to disclose, expose, and get them to realize that they're a cynic. We just try to get them to bring to light the fact that they're not a skeptic. A cynic will never call themselves a cynic. They'll always call themselves a skeptic. And it's up to us to determine between the two. It's usually the skeptic that will offer constructive criticism, whereas a cynic will troll you. So there you have it, the difference between a skeptic and a cynic. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I just want to let you know that this subject is not just for ufology. It basically applies to every topic and every subject matter. So anyway, I hope this helped, and I'll see you next time.